Okay, you're now tuning in to On the Corner interviews, brought to you by the Corner Talk podcast. My name's Eddie. We have another guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
They call me Issue. I'm from BK, the label. Coming out the valley. You can find my music on YouTube or on SoundCloud. Just look it up under. We got a couple songs: Love and Hate, Issue and Has It, and we got Don't Cuff, Has It and Issue. And on SoundCloud, just look up Has It 818. You'll find our music.
All right, so the name Issue, where does that name come from, or what's the idea behind the name Issue?
Well, kind of started while I was trying to figure out a name as a rapper. And besides that, I was always a problem child of my family, my sister. I was the one giving my mom all these types of issues, problems.
So it fit.
Just stuck, yeah.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and tell me what it was like in the city that you were from.
Well, I'm born and raised in North Hollywood. 22 years old. It was good and bad, I guess, at the same time. Well, for one, most of my family gangbangers, so growing up with them wasn't that easy. Getting confused for being, a part of their gang, whatever the case was, wasn't really a problem. Then the good side of it was just the whole valley, like getting to know it and everything. The people that I know from here, all the people that I know are usually, or all live here. They all stay around here.
So you have there's a bit of family history in the valley. It's very strong and it's very present.
Yeah.
Right? So tell me a little bit about when you were a kid. What was that like, man? What were you doing? How was school?
Excuse me. When I was in school, I was hardly in school. The question was, when I wasn't in school, I was out doing some bad shit, I guess you could say. I had my dad around, my mom too, but I was usually staying at my grandma's house. My grandma would kind of let me do whatever with my uncles. So, I'm really close with one of my uncles. He's a little older than me. So when he wouldn't go to school, I wouldn't go to school. We'll just go do some shit. Probably end up in front of a 7-Eleven, smoking and drinking and shit like that. I was probably around 12 when that started. And he was probably 15, 16. It was cool. Growing up as a kid, it was a little tough. I had another uncle who was showing me a lot of bad shit and shit.
Yeah.
He was showing me everything that was going on in the streets. So besides...
Hold on, let the little helicopter pass. So, tell me a little bit about where we are. We're on the other side of the street, Lancashire. Yeah. Cause I know who you are. Cause I'm your cousin. So, tell me a little bit about Lancashire, man. Cause I know that's where you grew up mainly, and I know you have a lot of stories and just life that happens here.
Well, besides me living here, my mom, my uncles, my dad even, they all pretty much grew up on Lancashire as well. This is where one of my uncle's hoods originated, or one of the sites from their hood. Lancashire Boulevard is pretty known for a lot of gang activities, I guess, just like Violent or Saticoy, Laurel Canyon. It all leads down to having a lot of gangs around there. Growing up on Lancashire, it was cool. I knew a lot of people I knew everybody up and down the block, walk up the block, and just know at least 3 to 4 people that just on that block. It felt like home. It always has felt like home. But then again, you have your other neighborhoods that'll come by and just do their thing, probably confuse you for being someone you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So it has its ups and downs. You have a lot of famous stores on Lancashire Boulevard, like you have Jimmy's Burgers, you have a Swami, Um, there's a 7-Eleven probably on almost every corner. You have a Yum Yums.
So, what's something negative you could say about North Hollywood? Like, what don't you like about it?
I don't like how. I mean, I know it's a struggle out here in the streets. It's bad and everything. I don't mean to say this like with offense. There's no offense, but there's a lot of like hobos and all that. Like, a lot of people are losing their homes and just they're on the streets with like tents and all that, and that shit it's fucked up because you got kids walking around going to school and they gotta go through that and see that. And then some of them are on drugs and shit like that, and they're just acting out, wilding out in the streets. I don't like that shit. I don't like that I know a lot of people in North Hollywood now. It's kind of burnt out. Like, everywhere I go, I bump into somebody and shit.
Being known.
Yeah.
So, so you don't think it's good for a kid to see all the homelessness that goes on in the city?
Yeah, I mean, it's a part of life, but it's just getting out of hand now. Like, you got tents and shit just in a row. You got shit all over the street now. I mean, besides the drugs and all that shit, now we gotta deal with this. And it's just fucked up. I don't know. I didn't grow up seeing that shit because back in the days, like, you had other people clearing them out, like, telling them to get the fuck out of here. Shit like that.
Cleaning up the streets, basically.
Yeah, like...
So do you think it's important for the people, and let's say how your family is very involved, like how you say in the streets and stuff like that, do you think it's important for people to clean up the streets and care about how their city looks?
Yeah. Like, I have a homie who's from a neighborhood around here. It's just close by. They're more towards Silmore and all that. They keep their city clean. Like, you don't really see no homeless people out there like that. You don't really see graffiti and shit like that. Like, regardless, graffiti's gonna be written by their own neighborhood or a couple of tigers around here or whatever. But for the most part, the streets are clean and shit. You don't really got drug addicts just hanging around anywhere like you do right here on Lancashire.
Yeah.
On Lancashire, you know, that's just known for that right now. Like, you can find whatever you need right here, pretty much. Shit, I was even selling on Lancashire at a point, like back then and shit, just to make money. That's just what it was like growing up with people that you knew that were older than you, and they wanted to show you the exact same life that they lived, which was nothing good. And that's what you pick up on when you're fucking around, hanging out in the streets. You see people having money and shit, and you want whatever they got at that time, so you're doing whatever it takes just to have money.
Okay, so how do you feel about people that get influenced? Do you think people should be strong enough to not go towards that, or do you think that's just part of life and sometimes you dive into what you're around? It's not fear, it's not weakness. It's more like you live around that and you grow up with that, so that's kind of what you get into.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Some people grow up in it. Like, as far as me and you know, we kind of grew up in it because of our parents, whatever, our uncles. And you have other people who don't have their parents or uncles or anything. All they have is like a single mother. And then the homies that they're kicking it with off of school and everything start influencing them, or they want to be kicking it with their homies. And then those people know other people, and it just leads to you being influenced into that life. Because it's not like if we live in a nice neighborhood. Like, right here, everybody, when you were in middle school, like, all you wanted to do was just kick it with your homies, smoke and drink and shit like that. Probably go tag or some shit. Or, you know, I had other homies that were already banging in middle school. You know, everybody around here just wants to make money. Like, you're either gonna slang, you're gonna do some shit, whatever. Go rob somebody probably.
Oh man.
All that shit. Like, all that shit actually happens.
How do you feel about peer pressure? Do you think, obviously it does happen, but what do you think? Should people stand up for themselves and do what they want? Or do you think sometimes people do get taken advantage of? And fall into stuff that maybe not necessarily they wanted to, but they did?
Well, as a young, like around, alright, with my uncles, if you were a young Latino, like growing up around here, and they liked how you were, like you kind of just didn't give a fuck a little bit, they'll kind of pressure you into like joining them and shit like that. And then they'll start, you know, you get brainwashed, and then little by little you get corrupted, and then you end up making a choice. It's either you're gonna be with the shit, or you're just gonna be known in your hood now for being a fucking lame or some shit. Get me? So it does fall into peer pressure. I mean, you do have your own choice. Like me and you, we didn't join gangs, even though our families were from there. We could have. We were about to probably, or I mean, I was. But I just decided to pick up on music. I was going through some shit. Besides gang banging and all that shit, I was going through some personal shit in my household, and it just made me want to like get my family up out of here. So in other words, I make music just because I want to help my family or whoever I know around here. I help my own community.
Okay. So getting into the music now, why rapping? Is it because you grew up watching it, or did you have a natural skill for it? Tell me a little bit about why rapping.
I started rapping with you, your brother. Might get interviewed pretty soon. I'm not sure if he has.
Hopefully, yeah.
Uh,
Shout out to my brother.
Shout out to him, yeah. I mean, it just all started in the corner of my street.
Yes,
just
sir.
kicking it, drinking, smoking. Jose's always been rapping. Then me and you you started rapping after him, and then you got into battle rapping, and then me hearing all that shit around the time I was like, 15, 16. I liked that shit, and then we would all just freestyle in the corner. Then I started going through some personal shit, like I had told you earlier. I was going through some personal shit in life. I didn't know how to like express that shit. So in other words, I tried writing it down in a song, or as a song, which was the first song I ever wrote. I remember showing it to you guys. You guys told me that it was good for my first ever song.
Yeah.
So from there, I wrote another one and kept writing. And then I had other people telling me my shit was good. So kind of just influenced me into doing it. And then now I don't give a fuck if people think my shit's good or not. I just do it because shit, I like music. I fell in love with doing music, writing music. If I'm not working or with my daughter, I'm doing music. I'm either recording a song, making a song, or just trying to come up with, the project that I'm trying to do, which is my mixtape. I'm trying to drop that pretty soon.
So, once you started, were you nervous? Was it easy? Tell me about recording. Like actually, you're not just rapping on the corner no more. You're in the booth spitting bars.
That shit. Well, to me, that shit made me feel like uncomfortable. It made me feel uneasy. That shit was hard as fuck to me. I couldn't do it. I mean, I was doing it, but my voice wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to, because I was scared. I was nervous. Writing music ain't that easy like I thought it was gonna be. A lot of people think you could just go in there and just write whatever you want, but at the end of it, you still have to throw in a couple punchlines. You gotta give good delivery.
Yeah.
That,
So once you started getting into the groove, what do you feel like your style was? What kind of beats do you think you fit best?
Well, it depends. Like, I fuck with like a couple trap beats or just like some R&B type beats and shit. I could do hip hop beats. Hip hop beats I actually like to do. That's when I try to story tell the most, because it's just your simple loop. Then you got the newer like generations type beats and shit. Like Shoreline, you got their type of beats, like Bay Area type of beats, shit like that. That's a little like, you add a little more like funk to it and shit, a little more movement. You gotta just switch up your flow a little bit. Can't go in with some basic ass shit either.
Okay, so what do you think is important when it comes to rapping in the booth? What do you tend to focus on more, or do you just focus on it all?
To me, I go in there and I just I forget about everything else. I just listen to the beat, and that's all I have stuck in my head, the beat and whatever I'm about to drop, depending on if I wrote it or if I'm gonna just try to freestyle it. I just try to focus on the beat. That's my main thing, obviously, you know. But like, you have people watching you, you know, some of the homies be like recording me and all that shit. I try to block all that shit out.
Hmm.
Or like, you'll hear sometimes, because I keep one earphone out, sometimes I'll hear them in the background, like after I'm spitting a couple bars, and if they like that shit, they'll be all hyped about it outside, and it kind of gets you happy, and it kind of throw you off because you start like focusing on them, like hearing you and shit.
Mm-hmm. So you like to zone out.
Yeah, pretty much just pay attention to what you're doing and like forget everything else. Then after that, you could go outside and just hear it with them. If you need to fix anything, you can. But as far as just being in the booth, try not to get nervous, catch your breath.
Okay, so I've heard your music. You showed it to me. I listened to it. I love it. Tell me about Don't Cuff, and tell me the process and how you felt it came out with the visual and everything.
I feel like it came out good. That song just started off me and Hazit. Shout out to Hazit.
Shout out to Has It.
It was just me and Hazit. We were just chilling one day, trying to drop a song. He had just got into writing, making music and all that, and that was his first song, I think, ever made. I had like one or two before that, I believe. And that was his first song ever made. He was a little nervous about it, so was I. So it was the first song we were ever gonna drop with a visual. That was the plan from the beginning. So we tried to do like, it was kind of hard for me because at that time I wasn't really doing beats like that. So it was kind of hard for me to like to add my style into that. It wasn't that easy, but like hearing it afterwards and taking my time, because it did take a little bit of time, to day and night, almost a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
We were just back to back doing it.
So when you got your verse down, George has his verse down. What was the moment like when you guys finished the song? What was that like? Were you guys hyped?
Yeah.
Were you guys? Tell me about that.
It was mostly hype. We were just listening to that shit like, damn.
This is it.
Yeah, like, this is dope.
Okay, so tell me how important is the visual, or do you think the song is more important? Like, do you think the song needs to be great, and then you need to focus on the visual?
Yeah, I feel like the song should be good before you drop the visual. Like, we weren't too sure about the visual at first, but we ended up doing it because we did like the song. People were running it up. They were telling us it was good, that we should drop a video to it, so we did. And that was the plan from the beginning. Doing a video, it depends. Kind of have to go with what you're talking about and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, we just kind of wanted to fuck around and have fun with it because it was our first video ever made. So it had me nervous. I was like stuttering a little bit. I had to run it back a couple times, do a couple takes. I started drinking a little bit after that, just so I could get a little more loose.
Yeah.
From there, everything just got easy for us. We just did about two different spots. That was about it.
Okay, so Don't Cuff drops, the video drops. It does pretty good for some people from the valley, from North Hollywood City, you know, like dropping some music.
Yeah.
So now getting into Love and Hate. Tell me about that, man. What was that like, trying to cook it up, and what was the feeling like there?
Well, Love and Hate, that wasn't even like, we didn't try making that song. It just happened. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Alright, well, we were just chilling in my car, bumpy music. It was me, one of the other homies, and Hazit. And we were just freestyling like always. So we started playing a couple beats. The beat from Love and Hate came up. And that fool Hazit liked that shit. So he started writing to it right there and then. And then from there, he had hit me up the next day and told me we should do that beat. Like, I'm still writing to it, and I feel like it's coming out like good and shit. I like what the fuck I'm writing, whatever. He was telling me about what he was writing, and then I remember telling him, yeah, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And then finally, like the day before we were supposed to go record it, he had hit me up the day before telling me, did you finish writing to it? And I was about halfway done with it, with my verse. And I told him, nah, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I kind of don't like what the fuck I'm, saying. I'm not gonna finish doing my shit. I just felt lazy at that time because I could write music really fast if I want to. Like, it just became a habit. It's a hobby I love. Writing music it's not hard for me, not anymore, because I already have a couple years doing it. But I guess I just wasn't feeling it at the time. I ended up doing it the next day when we went to go record it. I felt a little bit more hype about it. I just wanted to see what it was gonna sound like because I didn't like the way that it was sounding in my head. So after I did it and it came out, I felt like it came out okay. Everybody was telling me it came out good. I just felt like I could have done better. The process of that one was a little more different than Don't Cuff. Don't Cuff was we meant to do that one. And then Love and Hate
just came about. It was just natural.
Just as we were going, because we were making other songs. And we do have a lot of other songs that we have to, we haven't dropped them. We recorded them, we just haven't dropped them.
Okay. So is it in the vein of Don't Cuff and Love and Hate, or what's coming up with the songs that you haven't dropped?
Well, we're just trying to bring up like everything how we feel like in that moment. Just if we're feeling hype about a song, we're just gonna do a hype song. Love and Hate was just mainly about like the way Hazard grew up, love and hate towards his family, and then I talk about love and hate towards a female, and then I switch it up, like talk about love and hate for the streets, just like Hazard kind of did. And we have another song we're gonna drop. It's pretty much for the label. That one is just talking about like the label, and we're talking about BKA and just everything that we're doing, how people hate on us because we have a couple people talking shit about us and shit.
So tell me a little bit about BKA, the label. How did that come about? Were you added on? Did you start it? Tell me a little bit about that.
I was added on. I mean, BKA, the crew, that's already a crew. I'm from the crew as well. No crew's label. We just have a couple of us that rap. Like we have Chor. Shout out to Tro. We have one of the little homie Sleg. He raps too. He's just waiting to drop his music. Shout out to Sleg as well. We got Hazard from BK, the label as well. That started off as a crew. We have originally Tag. I guess the founders of BK, the label, because we started making music, was Tro. Tro started making music, and then Sleg actually does music with him as well. He just hasn't dropped any of his. And then I remember talking to Hazard, and Hazard was actually cool with Tro at that time. I didn't really know Tro like that. Then whatever, I started coming around, and then I asked him if I could get put onto BK, the label. They told me if I was gonna be serious about it. I told them yeah. So ever since, from then, we've just all treated each other like family.
So what made you make that decision? Did you see what they were doing and you liked it, or did you feel like that was the perfect place to bring your artist, your art, and your name to that brand?
Well, it started off because it's more than just me being homies with Sleg. Like Sleg, me and him are almost family. Like his brother is my sister's baby daddy. They have minors together, So like, me and him have always been cool and shit, and never really bumped heads like that. Like, me and him got out, we got along from the get-go. But whatever, like, he was from BK, and then Hazard was getting into, he was trying to get put on to BK at that time too. Because we would all kick it with each other, like, we were fucking with each other kind of heavy. It wasn't even just about, like, being a part of the label. It was just, we started kicking it together.
Being cool, being friends, basically.
And then one thing led to another. We started treating each other more like family. Now we are family. And then I was recording, the first songs that I recorded was at Troll's house. And then I remember hearing some of Troll's music. I was fucking with it. So from there I just asked him. And then now me and Troll have a song that should be dropping. We just gotta finish it, and we're trying to all make music. You know, drop a lot of shit this year. I have
Okay.
a couple shit that I'm gonna drop this year. And their shit is kind of similar. Well, Troll has his own style. You know, like he talks about the shit that he talks about. I talk about the shit that I talk about. But like when we do make music together, we try to talk about the same shit. But besides that, that's how that went down. It was just me being cool with them, being like family with them.
Yeah, so BK the label, what's the objective from your point of view and from what you get from other people in the label? What's the objective?
Um,
Like, what are you guys trying to accomplish?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
guys
nah, yeah.
just trying to put out major mixtapes and get the streets to fuck with you heavy? You know, get a little bit
Well,
into
I mean,
that.
it's not even about like the streets wanting to fuck with us or not. Like we make music just cause we fuck with the music. Like the homies fuck with the music, and if it, you know, we have a couple people that we don't fuck with like that tell us our music's good and shit. But I mean, we're trying to drop a lot of music. Like besides that, I actually want to start a clothing line. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't really got serious about it, but I plan to add a couple people out of different spots, like people from BK, some of my own family members that, you know, are willing to do it as well. Just like I remember me and you had talked about it,
Yeah.
starting a clothing line. Like I'm trying to get that starting, just because I want to make. I have a lot of ideas, and like thoughts about like how or what I can do to a couple of sweaters or shirts for starters,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there just take on from there. I mean, and the objective I guess for BK the label is just putting out music, making money, trying to get out from position that we're at now.
Mm-hmm. So, Issue, the solo artist, what's your objective?
I just want to make music, be able to provide for my family. Me and my family been in this struggle for a while now. And besides that, like all that struggle made me who I am today. It gave me a story to tell. A lot of people never knew like why I was the way that I was up until I started making music. Started telling a story on my music. Pretty much all I want to do is just get the fuck about the position that I'm at now. Be able to provide for my little girl and get her everything she needs.
Okay,
As far
okay.
as this music, like, I love that shit. It's a hobby, but I'm always gonna have a side grind besides that. And that's why I want to start a clothing line, fuck with a little bit of clothes. And then as I'm going, maybe start doing some other shit. It's just the thought that I have now.
Mm-hmm. So, you said you have a couple songs in the vault. So what's next with that? What are you guys gonna do? What's the plan?
The plan is go to the studio one of these days when I have time. Go to the studio, it has it, fix up all the songs that we need to fix, whatever adjustments it needs, and start dropping music little by little. Once we fix them all, we're just gonna drop a couple tracks, then drop a couple more. I'm not sure if he's working on his own project or not, but I am. So sooner or later, once we get this out the way, I'll just focus on whatever I'm doing and drop that hopefully by like next summer or before that.
Okay. So maybe I can get a little bit of exclusives. Have you thought of any titles for your mixtape? Issue the mixtape. What is that gonna? What's gonna be the sound? What's gonna be like the name of it?
As far as the name, I'm not quite sure yet, to
Mm-hmm.
be honest. And as far as the sound, it might have like, it's gonna be more hip hop probably than it is like trap and shit. But I will be talking about just whatever's going on with me, whatever I live through, whatever I'm going through, whatever I've been through, all that, whatever I'm trying to achieve in life, achieve my goals, all that. It's not gonna be just one basic sound. It will have like a mixture of a couple different songs. Hopefully our song will be on there, the one that we're working on,
Yeah.
and you know what that sounds like, so you get where I'm coming from as far as like, I want to throw a couple good hip hop tracks in there, but also have my like little trap shit in there too.
Okay. So tell me something. What's something you want to put out in the world? Something that you feel strongly about, or just something in general?
just don't let anything hold you back. Shit. If you got something you want to do, then just do that shit. Ain't nobody gonna stop you from doing anything.
Okay, okay.
You could do whatever you want to do. Like, a lot of people feel like just because they're living check to check, they can't make shit happen. You gotta stop living check to check, step it up, get yourself out that little hole that you're in. You could do more than just nothing out here in these streets, no matter where you're coming from. As you can see, I got the homie Tro who comes from a different side of town, and he went through whatever he went through where he lived. I got homies that lived in LA. I got homies that lived in Selmar. Almost went through all the same shit, but we're all trying to get it out from nothing. So don't let nothing hold you back, basically.
Okay. So Issue got songs with Has It. Tell me where people can find that music and where people can find the visuals.
You can find the visuals on YouTube. You just look up under Has It Subscribe. That's Has It 818, I believe. Or you could just look up Love and Hate, Has It an Issue, or Don't Cuff, Has It an Issue. You could go to SoundCloud and find our music, both of our music. We have a little bit more. That's Has It 818 as well on SoundCloud. And then we have another feature with Turn, which is the other homie who makes music. That song's called Little Bitch. You can find that on YouTube too. And you can find it on SoundCloud as Turn Ho.
Big Turn Ho.
Big Turn Ho.
Big Turn Ho. Yeah, I've heard this song. It's very good. Okay, any shout outs? Anybody you wanna anything you wanna send off with? Tell me something.
Shout out to the Corner Talk podcast interviews.
Thank you, man.
That's for sure. Shout out to BK the label. Shout out to Big Turn. Shout out to a couple of the homies, Big Tank. Shout out to the homie Cartoon. Yeah, man, just shit. That's it.
All right, go ahead and sign me out, man. My name's Eddie. On the Corner Interviews, another one out there that I'm gonna put out.
All right, for sure. Issue. Hope to see you guys again. Maybe get another interview with the other homies. Never know.
All right, for sure. Peace out.